Hello, everyone, and welcome to Business Management 325 Global Management. First of all, thanks to everyone for taking time over your summer to take this course. And I think it's a very exciting time to be taking this course. We're facing sort of two major issues here. First is a new administration, the Biden administration coming in, and some expected changes on how that impacts business. And then, more importantly, is hopefully we're coming to the end of the COVID tunnel, and there's some vast changes coming out of that. There's going to be three main things I would like you to take away from this course. The first is the content, and we sort of split that into political economy, culture, and then application of the various business functions, trade, marketing, finance, supply chain, strategy, etc. And that'll give you sort of the meat and potatoes of what global business is all about. The next is we're going to focus a lot on current events, and this is the application part of everything you're learning. So we don't have time to talk about every country and every company in this course, but this is a chance for you to pick topics that you're interested and passionate about and explore what's happening with them in a global context. As long as it's global, it's fine. It could be something with a US company that has global implications, or something happening on the other side of the world that has implications here and elsewhere. So you'll be doing that starting in week 2, and that's a great chance to really explore a lot of topics. And the third thing is going to be your group presentation. You're going to work in groups to identify an issue, problem facing an organization in a global context, probably in another country. You're going to talk about what is the problem. You're going to give some recommendations as to how to solve the problem, and then you're going to think about how you would actually go about implementing that. And that's a chance to really take a deep dive. So those are sort of the three main things that we're going to be working on in the course. I'd like to say that all of you guys are welcome to reach out to me, and I encourage you to do so at any time. Email is the best. Please take a look at the syllabus before we get started in the course. It'll give you a much clearer idea of what we're going to cover. Um, but I will be checking email pretty much every day throughout the course, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I'm also happy to set up a Zoom meeting at any time to talk about anything about the course, as well as just to talk about global business or your aspirations in general. I'm also very happy to introduce, we'll have two excellent TAs who are 2-star students in international business and have taken some of my other courses in the past. Anna Peters and Annabelle Hall, and they're going to be doing their own brief video introductions, which I encourage you to take a look at. So, whenever you have any questions about IT related or sort of course procedural related issues, think of them as your first stop. And please CC all three of us in communications. And they're going to be sort of our front line in managing the course. And they both have very deep passions and different interests, and they'll also be able to contribute a lot to what we're doing. So, a little bit about me. So, I've sort of split my career half in academics and half in business and government. And so, from the academic side, I've been at Boise State for 6 years. I'm a clinical assistant professor and the head of our International Business Program, as well as being the director of global programs for the college, working on all of our relationships with various foreign universities and businesses and governments, sort of as a college facing perspective. And before coming to Boise State, I was at City University in Hong Kong doing a similar role. And before that, I helped New York University to found their China campus. And I was the first professor on the ground and helped to build a faculty and build a program, which grew from sort of 9 students in our first cohort, and it's now up to about 3,000 on the campus. So that's sort of my academic background. I've also taught at Kellogg and other universities. My PhD is in public policy with a strong focus on behavioral economics. And my master's degree is in global political economy from University of Chicago, where I focus mostly on U.S., China, Japan relations, economic and political relations. And my undergraduate is in English literature and philosophy. And so I've had sort of a wide gamut. And my first interest started studying abroad in Scotland as a junior at the University of Dundee. So that's sort of on my academic side. And my research is on how to build sustainable economic clusters and attract top talent and capital, especially in smaller, remoter cities, like basically every city in Idaho, competing with the big cities like New York and London and Tokyo and Paris and Shanghai. And I think that COVID has sort of shown us what our strengths are. It's played out relatively well for a lot of Idaho communities from a lot of perspectives. So that's on the academic side. And my work side, when I graduated from college, I went to work for Quaker Oats in marketing, and we had Michael Jordan. We owned Gatorade at the time, and we had Michael Jordan as one of our stars, as well as Captain Crunch and the oatmeal. And then I went to China after that and worked for one of the first China-focused venture capital funds. We invested in industry and increasingly in media. And then I went to work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, for the U.S. Consulate, for the U.S. government, and that was my first introduction to Idaho business. Idaho at the time, Simplot at the time, was supplying McDonald's and KFC, which were booming, and they couldn't figure out how to grow McDonald's and KFC quality potatoes in China. So they were all being imported at great cost. And I was talking to Scott Simplot a few years ago, and they solved the problem and now have those farms in China. So that's sort of the sweeping change that goes through international business. And then I went back to China after getting my master's degree and worked for McKinsey in management consulting, advising both multinationals who wanted to expand their markets in China, as well as a number of Chinese firms that were then looking to push outwards. So I've had a wide perspective, and I pursued my dream and went to Japan and represented the state of Missouri for business development, in which I worked with a lot of small to medium sized companies, a lot of working closely with CEOs and with their global sales teams. So I got to know a lot about smaller companies as well, and we also worked with some of the big firms like Anheuser-Busch and Monsanto. So I've had a wide amount of experience working with all sorts of firms from small to large on a lot of these global issues. And then I decided to sort of jump into academics. So my family and I love Boise. My wife and I met climbing in the mountains of China, and our oldest son was born in Shanghai, and we moved here 6 years ago, and our youngest son was born shortly after arriving here. So we look forward to the summer, spending time camping and climbing and mountain biking and fishing as the summer rolls on. So please feel free to reach out, take a look at the syllabus for the first week. In addition to reading the first three chapters on globalization and political economy, and I like to stress in this that it's political economy, not economic politics. So often the political decision makers have more power and can really set the stage for what happens in business. And I think we'll see that throughout the next 7 weeks. And then you're going to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about yourself and what global experiences you have had, whether it's through work or through travel or just through meeting people. So one of the main things I'd like to do over the course of the summer is to really create a sort of a culture in this class, because we're all spread out and working on our own schedules. So we'll come together through our discussion forums and through meetings and through group projects, and create a culture of trying to understand global business. And it's such a diverse topic. I will certainly learn a lot from all of you and look forward to sharing my perspective. And I know that Anna and Annabelle are looking forward to doing that as well. So thanks. We'll officially start on Monday, and have a great weekend.